My boss told me I was too emotional to lead a project I had built from the ground up and handed it to a male colleague who had been at the company for 4 months. He changed his mind when he realized every project file was locked behind a password only I knew. By then, I had already quit. My name is Dana. I'm 29. I was a data systems analyst at a logistics company called Brevet Solutions for 3 years. I built their entire client reporting infrastructure from scratch. Every template, every automation, every dashboard. When the company landed a $3 million contract with a national retail chain last spring, I was assigned to lead the implementation project because nobody else understood the systems I had designed. For 5 months, I worked 60-hour weeks. I built the project timeline, trained 2 junior analysts, created the file architecture, and encrypted everything through our company portal using a security protocol I developed myself. My director, Kevin, told me in June that I was the backbone of this project. Then in August, during a leadership meeting, I presented a concern about the project timeline slipping due to understaffing. I was firm. I laid out numbers showing we needed 2 more analysts or we'd miss the October delivery date. Kevin listened, nodded, and said nothing. The next day, he called me into his office and told me he was reassigning the project lead role to Marcus, a guy who had joined the company in April. His reasoning was that the client needed someone steady at the helm and that my presentation yesterday came across as emotional and reactive. I asked him to clarify. He said, "You seemed really worked up in that meeting, Dana. Marcus has a calmer presence. Clients respond to that." I had not raised my voice. I had not cried. I had presented a spreadsheet with 12 data points and asked for resources. That was too emotional. I went to HR and filed a formal complaint. The HR manager, Linda, told me she understood my frustration, but said Kevin had the authority to reassign roles as he saw fit. She suggested I use this as a growth opportunity. I asked if Marcus had any experience with the systems I built. Linda said, "He'll learn." 2 attempts, 2 dead ends. The breaking point came the following Monday. Kevin sent a company-wide email announcing Marcus as the new project lead and thanking the full team for their contributions. My name wasn't mentioned. 3 years of work reduced to full team. I typed my resignation that evening. 2 weeks' notice, professional and clean. I turned in my laptop and my badge on a Friday afternoon. Kevin shook my hand and said, "No hard feelings. You've got a bright future, Dana." The following Monday, my phone rang at 7:46 a.m. It was Marcus. He couldn't access the project files. The entire architecture was behind an encryption key I had created using a password only I knew. Every dashboard, every client template, every automation script. Locked. Marcus called 3 times. Then Kevin called. Then Linda from HR called. Kevin left a voicemail that said, "Dana, we need that password. This is time sensitive. The client deliverable is due in 6 weeks." I called him back and said, "I'm no longer an employee of Brevet Solutions. That password was created as part of my work product, and I'm happy to consult on the transition. My rate is $250 an hour with a minimum of 40 hours. Kevin said, "You can't be serious." I'm very steady right now, Kevin, not emotional at all. He tried to get their IT department to break the encryption. It took them 2 weeks and they failed. The client started asking questions. Kevin called me again and agreed to my consulting terms. I earned $14,000 over the next 3 weeks unlocking and transferring my own work. Marcus sat next to me the entire time taking notes. On my last consulting day, he looked at me and said, "I don't know how you built any of this." "I know," I said. I started a new company next month making $30,000 more than Brevet ever paid me. Kevin still has my consulting invoice framed in his memory, whether he likes it or not. And somewhere in that building, every time someone opens a dashboard I built, there's a small line of code in the footer that reads, "Designed by Dana Whitfield. Too emotional to lead. Calm enough to lock you out."